tears deep when the devious half of my split personality comes through my subconscious thought and says, "Mayday, we have a situation that requires immediate engagement." We need I say because I'm bipolar to put this plan into action ASAP, so the plans goes as follows: steal the Ronald McDonald in 1, 2, 3, go. And being how I was almost upon the turn and there was no time for contemplating the pro and con possibilities or outcomes of the situation. Pressed for time for drawing up plans, reading any schematics, or spitballing, no. This required sudden braking with the sound of locking brakes and squealing tires and all the objects in the rear of the car to be suddenly and immediately relocated to the front of my ride. Which worked out cause the back needed to be emptied out to make room cause that's where old Ronald was about to be packed for shipping and handling purposes. I shimmied across the tall metal gate fence that protects Playland from Iraq and wild animals and varmints and such, tiptoed by the plastic ball pen. Then I climbed up onto this little wooden podium there, put Ronald in a headlock, put both feet on his ass cheeks, and pushed back with all my weight. And the boards began creaking and the sound of plastic popping, and within seconds I had took old Ronnie, that's what I call him now, Ronnie down for the pin as if it was last man standing WrestleMania, but there was no time to go for a pin or for celebration. I had to remove myself from the scene of the crime with the quickness. So I chucked Ronnie across the fence, where he let out a thunderously hollow sound, popped the hatch of my two-seater sports car and shoved him into the open hatch until his shoulders hit the back of the seats. His big red clown face was over top of my console, and jumped behind the wheel and tore off. Now that was unfortunately as far into the plan that my devious haphazard plan had gotten during the hatching of this brain fart of an idea I had. First there was plan A. Steal Ronald. Second, there was no plan B. Number second. The only second were the ones ticking away from my getaway time. And I'm thinking I'm as good a liar as the next man, but I don't know how I would have explained the 3 empty beer bottles in the floorboard, the roach in my ashtray, and the 2.5 feet of Ronald that was still hanging out the back of my hatch. Not to mention the 2 feet of 2x4s that were still nailed to his biggest clown shoes. I would be hard-pressed to come up with a sort of believable story, much less one that wouldn't end with me picking up trash along the highway for 3 months. I can imagine the look of bewilderment on them officers' face when they saw me go by. What in God's name is hanging out the back of Thompson's ride? I can hear him saying to theyself at least, he know he's supposed to have a red flag tied to anything hanging out overweight are those red clown shoes. Attached to 2x4s. That's looking very suspicious even for Thompson cause they knew me like that. And did he just turn up a beer? Ruru. Ruru motherfucker. Pull over to the side of the road. The other side, dumbass, opposite the median of all the things you could be doing tonight. This was your final decision. No other options crossed your mind. This just hit you like a 2-ton heavy thing, and you rolled with it. You were strained for intelligent ideas, I guess, so you just invented a new and improved wondrously bad one. Is there even a statute that covers kidnapped Ronald McDonald's? The fellas down at the station are gonna love this, and the explanation that goes along with it. Why couldn't I have kept running radar like a normal Tuesday night? And I'm sure that's what they would have said, but as luck would have it, I got away clean. Quite the great escape, I might add. Yeep, then it occurred to me, what the hell am I gonna do with this thing now? Then it hits me, I'll take it out the road to my boy's house. So I go to my buddy's apartment, slip Ronnie out the back, wrestle with him across the yard, and prop him right up against the bedroom window and knock. And don't you know, when he threw back those curtains and saw old Ronald himself, one hand on his hip, the other waving like hell, he jumped like a damn jack-in-the-box. You'd have thought he said Candyman 3 times in the mirror by the look on his face. I think it even scared his sick off. At least he walked like it did. It's definitely a location joke. You just had to be there. Me and my boy had a few cold beers and old Ronald ended up at the bus stop with a beer taped to his waving hand and kids running round the rosy around him come morning. And that is why all playlands at McDonald's are now built with windows and building frame around them. You're welcome.